Good evening, and welcome to Thames Valley, and welcome to our live virtual kindergarten information evening. We are thrilled to welcome each and every one of you as we begin this exciting journey together. At Thames Valley, we believe that early years of education are the crucial in shaping a child's love for learning. It is a magical time filled with discovery and curiosity. Our dedicated team of educators, some of which you will meet this evening, are committed to creating inclusive, nurturing, and engaging environments where your children can grow, explore, and develop a strong foundation for future academic success. We understand that starting kindergarten can be a significant transition for both children and parents and caregivers, and the team is here to support and guide you every step of the way. Throughout the year, your child will have the opportunity to engage in a variety of hands-on activities and play-based learning that will foster creativity, critical thinking, and social skills. The curriculum is designed to spark curiosity, encourage independence, and lay the groundwork for a lifelong love of learning. We are partners in your child's education. We encourage open communication and collaboration. We value the unique identities that each child brings to the community, and we look forward to getting to know all families when school begins in September. This evening, you will also hear from parents like yourself whose children entered kindergarten for the first time this year, and we are excited to be able to introduce you our team of educators who will support your child and will show you the exciting world of kindergarten that awaits your child this fall. Before I introduce the team to you, our Director of Education, Mark Fisher, would like to personally welcome you as your journey begins here at Thames Valley. Sit back and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Mark Fisher, Director of Education at the Thames Valley District School Board. As a father of two, I know how exciting kindergarten can be for parents. It's the start of a wonderful new chapter, but for some, it can also bring uncertainty. You may be concerned about your child making friends or doing well in school. At Thames Valley, we want to ease your worry and support you during this important milestone. We have the resources to help you and your child succeed at school. Their well-being is our top priority, and we will do everything we can to ensure they have a safe space to learn and to grow. Kindergarten is the first step in your child's educational journey, and together we'll make sure the journey starts on the right foot. Welcome to Thames Valley.
Tonight we have a lot of helpful information to share with you, but you might have questions during our presentation. We've included a Q&A feature that is located at the top of your screen. Please feel free to click on the question mark icon and type your question there. We'll try to answer it.
So good evening. My name is Belinda Graham, and I am just one member of the kindergarten educator team. I am a certified Ontario teacher, and that means that I have qualifications to teach children from kindergarten all the way up to grade 8. Having this understanding of the Ontario curriculum assists me in kindergarten as it helps me plan activities and assessments that will help support children, recognize their diverse abilities, and build that strong foundation that they'll need throughout the school years and beyond. As an educator, I understand the importance of relationships, and so I work alongside my co-educator in the kindergarten classroom, along with the children, families, and caregivers to help plan activities and lessons that are meaningful and authentic to the children and families in my classroom.
My name's Cheryl Duffett, and I'm a registered early childhood educator and another member of the kindergarten educator team. I have extensive knowledge of child development, along with observation and documentation skills. The philosophy of early childhood educators includes a focus on the whole child, which allows us to plan age-appropriate activities that promote each child's physical, cognitive, language, emotional, social, and creative development, and ensures the well-being of each child.
Another member of the kindergarten team is the kindergarten specialty educator. At each school, this role might look slightly different. They could be taking children to learn in the outdoors, maybe doing some learning through the arts, possibly some physical activity in the gym. The specialty educator works alongside the classroom educator team, again, to co-plan with the children to meet their needs where they are at. All members of the team really work together to ensure that children see themselves reflected in activities, materials, and documentation in the classroom. And at Thames Valley, we really strive to provide positive and safe learning environments for all children. Starting kindergarten can be a very busy time, and it's also exciting. In the following video clip, our team shares some information with families about how you can access services for multi-language learners. Enjoy.
Welcome to kindergarten. As you can see by our multilingual board, we have many languages and cultures represented in our school system. Your child's oral language abilities is so valued, as well as your culture, your lived experiences in the classroom, and we really welcome you to share as much as you can about your home language with your classroom educator when your child starts school. We also have many community partners here to support us, and I wanted to just introduce you to Settlement Services in Schools. What is SWIS?
SWIS stands for Settlement Services in School. SWIS Services is a Thames Valley District Board partnership where settlement workers in school work to support settlement services to any newcomer family into a Thames Valley District Board community.
So if a family wanted to find a family doctor or an after-school extracurricular activity or library program, is that something that SWIS can help with?
Yes, as settlement workers, we provide newcomer families with support, orientation, information in various aspects like unemployment, housing, healthcare, and education.
Okay, so how would a family connect with SWIS, and is an interpreter available if families should need them?
Well, there is a consent form that parents can access through the school office, and they can fill out the form, and then a settlement worker will contact them to set up an appointment and then assess any settlement needs and also find out if the family requires an interpreter. So please contact your school administrator or classroom teacher to get access, connected to SWIS services in your school. And we look forward to seeing you in September.
Okay, so not only do we have many community partners to support us, we also have educators within our schools. I would like you to meet the multilingual educator in the school.
I'm the multilingual educator here at Iscarline Public School. All parents also have access to interpreters to support you with communicating with your children's teachers if needed. Although multilingual educators do not directly support your children in their kindergarten classes, we're happy to support you with any questions you may have about learning English. Being multilingual is truly a valued asset in the Thames Valley District School Board, and we're so happy to welcome you and your child into school.
While each school day might be a bit different with varying start and end times and different scheduled recess and lunch times, each kindergarten class will follow a sort of schedule as well. This is often represented as a visual schedule, like this, that's displayed in the classroom so that your child will know what is happening next in their day. We call this the flow of the day, as this schedule is somewhat more flexible and responsive to the needs of everyone in the class, rather than following a strict timeline. In kindergarten, your child will spend 2 years growing and learning at their own pace and while being supported by the educators and the classroom environment. The kindergarten program focuses on 4 areas or frames of learning and development. These are belonging and contributing, self-regulation and well-being, demonstrating literacy and mathematics behaviors, and problem-solving and innovating. These frames align with the way that children learn naturally as they explore their world through play. We will take you now on a tour of a typical classroom and show you how your child will grow and learn through these 4 frames with the help of the educators.
We will begin by exploring the belonging and contributing frame. Like all of the 4 frames in the kindergarten program, belonging and contributing occurs throughout the day. Children will see themselves as performers, artists, and contributors to the classroom. They will learn how to care for classroom materials, respect the ideas and opinions of others, and build that sense of community. Throughout the learning environment, children be represented by sharing their work, such as these lovely items found here on the wall. Educators will spend time getting to know you and your child. You may be asked to send in photos of your family, or you may see displays of drawings of families around your child's classroom. This will help your child feel reassured and connected, and help create that safe and caring environment as they make that transition to kindergarten. During play and eating times, and even outdoors, children will have opportunities to collaborate with others and discover their strengths. Through the essential conditions for learning, educators help build a safe and caring environment where children feel ready to learn. We all recognize that children will transition to school at their own pace, and educators will work with families and school staff to ensure that your child has the best start to their first few days in kindergarten.
The frame of self-regulation encompasses the child's learning and important skills that will be throughout kindergarten, but also throughout their school years and beyond. Through daily interactions with children and other adults in the room, your child will start to develop a strong sense of self and some self-awareness. By creating a learning environment that is safe, accepting, nurturing, the staff will help your child become aware of their own emotions and how to manage them, and to be aware of the thinking and feeling of other children. Many classrooms will have quiet or calming areas where children can go when they need time and space to manage their big emotions. These areas might include a comfortable place to sit or a cozy area to curl up in. It might include comfort toys like this, or books that talk about their emotions. They might also take the time here to practice those strategies that have been taught to them by the educators to help them calm. Your child will also have opportunities to learn self-regulation through carefully and intentionally planned activities indoors and outside, such as water play, painting, sand play, or even like this Play-Doh. The development of self-regulation is something that takes time and is unique to every child. This includes using the washroom at school as well. In the classroom, the educator team will support your child and encourage them to use the school washroom and help them through any routines that they might be still learning.
In kindergarten, literacy and mathematics occurs throughout the day. Educators will use what they know about your child's unique skills to help provide learning opportunities that will help them grow. In kindergarten, children will spend time learning how to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the foundational skill of quantity, which pile has more, which pile has less. They will also play games with dice to help them quickly recognize numbers to 6, and they will spend time exploring other mathematical concepts such as data management, shapes, and measurement throughout the day. Educators will teach children about their letters and corresponding sounds. You may see cards similar to this sound wall come home to help support this learning. Using the sound wall, children will learn how to make the letter sounds and connect them to the letter as they learn to read and spell. As well, speaking and listening are a key part of the kindergarten program. Through the use of read-alouds or leader days, children will learn to develop their skills as both speaker and listener. You might also see an expanding expression tool in your child's classroom. This will help children to develop their vocabulary and share their knowledge about items and things that are within their learning environment. Children communicate for many different reasons, sometimes obtaining things or sharing what they like and they dislike. Some children might be just learning to communicate. They may look away or push things off with their hands. In your child's classroom, you may see a communication board like this. This helps support those nonverbal ways of communicating. Children can use the various images and symbols to help share with others their wants, needs, dislikes, and interests.
Lastly, we have the problem-solving and innovating frame that supports children as they encounter problems and learn to solve them independently and with others throughout the school day. Inquiry and wonder are at the heart of play-based learning. Through inquiry, children learn to ask questions, test their theories, try out solutions to problems. This can be done independently or with groups of friends. Educators will set up activities for children to learn to solve problems and investigate things further, to develop their own theories of thinking. This can happen inside the classroom and outside as well. Learning within all the four frames allows children to see themselves as competent thinkers and creative learners. Now we're going to take a look at our outdoor learning environment.
Throughout the day, children will engage in meaningful learning outdoors that connects to each of the four frames. Educators will provide intentional activities that will engage children's curiosity and help build a sense of community and appreciation for the natural world. Children will be greeted each day by an educator in the morning and dismissed to either a bus, after-school care, or a caregiver at the end of the day. Classrooms have designated cubby areas for storage of personal belongings such as lunch bags and water bottles, and families are encouraged to label these items. Caregivers are able to register their children for kindergarten on the Thames Valley District School Board's main website at tvdsb.ca. This year, the process can be done fully online for children who will be turning 4 years of age by December 31st, 2024. This means that children who were born in 2020 are eligible to register for kindergarten this year. We are excited to meet you and your child and welcome them to kindergarten in Thames Valley. Now, we are going to take a quick look and a quick tour at the registration process, the Thames Valley District School Board's website, and a school's website where you can learn more information about how schools individually welcome children to kindergarten. The Thames Valley District School Board's website contains many resources to support all children, families, and students enrolled in Thames Valley schools. To access information about the kindergarten program, you will want to click on the Parent tab and select the kindergarten program. On this page, you will find information about kindergarten registration and registration for kindergarten in French immersion schools, as well as a section for frequently asked questions. In the frequently asked questions section, you can also find more information about before and after school care and how to register your child for the bus. As you scroll down the page, you can view videos of families who have children enrolled in Thames Valley kindergarten classrooms, along with community resources that provide helpful information for the transition to school. You are encouraged to explore the virtual kindergarten classroom. This virtual walkthrough provides a sneak peek of learning areas, materials, and other resources found in many Thames Valley schools. At the bottom of the page, you can find links to more information about the kindergarten program, play-based learning, and understanding the communication of learning, which will be the report card your child receives at 3 points throughout the school year. As we scroll back up and look at the side menu, you may also want to explore the Early Years Programs tab. On this tab, you will find information about the community partners that work with Thames Valley. These include Early On Child and Family Centers that provide free parent, caregiver, and child drop-in programs referrals, and resources. Specific links to the Early On programs in your community will be posted on your homeschool's Welcome to Kindergarten page later in the spring. You can also find more information on this page about childcare and before and after school programs. So, when you have a few minutes, we encourage you to take some time to explore the Welcome to Kindergarten and Kindergarten Program tab on the Thames Valley District School Board's website. We are lucky to be at East Carling tonight, sharing all of the wonderful things your child might see and do when they begin school in the fall. Another great resource families can access to learn more about the school is the school's website. These websites contain school-specific information and links. Let's take a look at East Carling's. Under the Our School tab, you will want to take a look at your school's Welcome to Kindergarten section. Each school will have their own unique information to help support families and children as they transition to school. Some schools will have all information on one page or provide a link to another page, just as East Carling has done. Each school will provide information about their school's routines, educators, and the kindergarten program. Across the top, you can see that East Carling has also created separate sections for School Messenger, Busing, Parking, and the Kiss and Ride Zone, and the Attendance Line. Schools will also provide more information about what your child will need to bring to school during their school-based Welcome to Kindergarten sessions. They might talk about lunches and snacks, indoor shoes, extra clothing, backpacks, and if they have a policy about toys at school, as well as clothing to support outdoor play. Along with exploring Thames Valley's main webpage, we encourage you to take a look at links and information found on your child's school's website.
At the Thames Valley District School Board, we know that students learn best in a safe and caring environment. Through research, we've created the Essential Conditions for Learning framework, which promotes relationships, safety, connection, and regulation to support student learning. When students feel safe and connected to their educators, their learning, and their peers and the wider school community, they are better able to regulate, interact with others in healthy ways, and learn. We're going to spend a couple of minutes watching this 2-minute introductory video about the essential conditions for learning.
Did you know that Thames Valley has a framework called the Essential Conditions for Learning? You might have seen this picture around your school and you might be wondering what it means. In order to do my best learning, I need to feel safe at school and connected to the caring adults in the school.
It's also important that I feel regulated when I'm at school. This means that there is predictability and structure at school and in the classroom so that my friends and I feel emotionally safe in our learning environment.
All of these essential conditions for learning are built through healthy relationships with adults and other students. When we take time to get to know one another and find out what makes us unique, it reminds us that we all play an important part in our school community.
So what does it mean to feel safe at school? When I think of safety from things like getting hurt, bullying, discrimination, and racism.
When I think of safety to being my authentic self and feeling safe to make mistakes, which we all know is how we learn.
What about connection? We all know that humans, and especially kids, are social beings. Everyone wants to feel like they belong. When we feel connected to our teachers, our classmates, and our school community, we're more excited to learn.
One way I feel connected at school is when the book we're reading shows pictures of people who look like me and my family.
I feel connected to my teacher when they greet me at the door with a big welcoming smile.
When we feel safe and connected at school, it's a lot easier for us to manage our emotions and stress, or get regulated.
Everyone experiences a wide range of emotions throughout the school day. I'm learning to notice these feelings in my body so that I can choose which regulation strategy works best for me.
I'm learning more about how my brain works so that I can explain to others what I need when I'm feeling overwhelmed or upset. Things don't always go smoothly though, and we all make mistakes.
When this happens, we can use essential conditions for learning as a reminder that we need to rebuild safety and connection so that we can feel regulated.
When a caring adult helps me with this, I can then talk through the problem and learn from my mistakes, which makes me feel ready to learn again. After all, that's what school's all about.
Good evening. We're really happy now to be able to take any questions that you may have. And I'll turn it over to Belinda, who has received a few already.
Yes. So when you registered for the questions or session, some of you offered us some questions. So we did find that there were a few questions or many questions about busing. So for specific information regarding your busing, you will really need to contact your child's school. They can provide you information about routes and times and give you the contact information for My Big Yellow School Bus, which is our online hub for all the transportation services in Southwestern Ontario. So you'll need to visit My Big Yellow School Bus to register your child and get them all set up for busing in September. Each school really has their own well-established routines around, getting children onto the buses, making sure they're on the correct buses, collecting children off the buses in the morning. So each school hosts their own Welcome to Kindergarten session, usually in the spring, and they can provide you with all of that helpful information and questions and show you the busing areas and talk a little bit more about those routines for them. As well, we also got many questions kind of about that pickup and drop off time. So we definitely know, especially those first few days of school, it can seem busy. We wanted children to have that best start. Again, schools have their own set routines. Educators in the classrooms really want to make that morning transition into the classroom really smooth and seamless, get children off on their best start of the day. And of course, at the end of the day, we have all those safety protocols in place to make sure that children, are matched with their right caregiver, go to the bus, maybe the after school program. Again, when you visit your child's school during their Welcome to Kindergarten sessions in the spring, they'll be able to share information with you about that process. Or as well, just from that website tour, they might even have more of that information on their school-specific websites. Also, the first day of school, when is it happening? We know it kind of moves every year. So based on the draft calendar that the school board has right now, the first day of school will be Wednesday, September the 4th. Hard to believe that that'll be coming up before we know it. And all children in grades 1 to 8 start school on Wednesday, September the 4th. However, some schools in kindergarten may prefer to do a staggered entry. So that means that your child might start school somewhere between the Wednesday and then all children are in school by the Friday of that first week of school. Again, when your school hosts that Welcome to Kindergarten session, they'll provide you with that information and they'll contact and reach out to families just before school starts to let them know exactly what date their child is starting in school.
Awesome. And a lot of other questions come in about what will my child need when they go to school? So when people see those back to school flyers or those pop-up ads in August, it can be overwhelming to think about the things that your child might need. And those ads are going to tell you that you need a lot of things that your child doesn't really need to bring. So during this your child's school Welcome to Kindergarten session, the school might provide families with a brief list of the things that your child might need to bring to school. Some key items that all children will need to bring is a backpack, something that can hold their belongings, but also that they would be able to carry on their own. So it should be able to hold their lunch bag, a refillable water bottle, extra clothes, and any work or notes that will be coming home from school. Children will be spending a portion of the day outside. So we talked about that outdoor education. They're going to be playing outside during that time, but they also will be having those recess times outside. So it's important to dress for the weather. Children are also encouraged to have indoor shoes if they can, and to label their belongings, because when we get all kinds of snow pants and coats on the ground, it's hard to tell which one belongs to which child. So please label your child's things. Your child's educators will provide helpful information about nutrition and lunch breaks and how much food children should be bringing to school. When packing lunches, it's important to think about containers to pack the food in that your child might be able to open and close on their own, and a water bottle that can be refilled. But there will be educators to help your child open their things if they need help. Most schools also discourage children from bringing a lot of things from home, like toys or electronics. We have so many wonderful learning tools and materials in the classroom for children to enjoy throughout the day. And often children can be pretty devastated if some of those things go missing or get broken at school. So please just keep your home toys at home and let us worry about what your child's going to be using at school. Another thing that we get a lot of questions about are about washroom routines. So children in kindergarten have access to washrooms all day, whether they're inside their classroom or nearby their classroom. Educators will plan washroom breaks in the daily routines and encourage children to use the washroom before going outside, during their eating breaks, and before assemblies, before trips. So all the time, anytime the child needs the washroom. Educators also respect each child's development in relation to their ability to be independent in the washroom. So we recognize, though, that starting school for the first time can be really stressful for children, and that they might experience situations where they require a change in clothes. A second pair of clothes supports children should their clothes become soiled or wet. And to support children's transition to kindergarten and to respect their dignity, it's helpful to support your child in the coming months with independence in the washroom, helping them notice when their body needs to go to the washroom, or wiping themselves clean, or pulling down and pulling up their underwear or pull-ups will be important skills to help your child with. Another question that we get a lot is about communicating with the child's school. There's lots of ways that families can get in contact with the school if they have questions, or if letting the school know if your child's going to be away, or if you're looking for community resources even. When you enroll your child with TVDSB, you will gain access to something called School Messenger. And so this is an electronic system that all schools use to communicate with families and caregivers. You can also call the school during the day, where the school staff will support you in finding any information that you need. Thames Valley also has easy access to translator services to help reduce communication barriers. School staff can help families access phone and in-person translators to provide support for school events or meetings with educators. Any other questions?
We'll go to another question.
Yeah.
Okay, one of our questions that we had come through was, how does the kindergarten team support students who may be having a difficult time with the transition into school?
Do you want to start with that? Sure, I can start with that. So the school team, educators have helped children navigate that transition to school many times. And we all know that children feel better about coming to school when they have a relationship and want to come to school because they know and like their educator. So some of that will be just that, those educators getting to know your child, getting to know their likes, their dislikes, and holding their hand, doing what they need to reassure them that everything is going to be okay. Earlier, I talked to you about the visual schedule, and that's something that educators will use to sort of refer to say, okay, well, now we're doing this, and then we're going to do something else, and kind of show the child when they will be going home and when they're going to see their family next. Don't be discouraged. If your child is feeling anxious and is saying, I don't like school, or it's hard for me, it is hard to be away from you at first, but your child will learn to love school, develop such a strong relationship with the educator team.
Mm-hmm. And I might add that every school will hold a Welcome to Kindergarten open house in May and June. And we'd really encourage you to bring your child to attend that, because that's another great opportunity to meet all the staff and, again, to start to forge those relationships with all of the staff and including the educators in your child's class.
Questions about French immersion and some families that registered their children for French immersion and haven't heard anything back yet. What could they be expecting in the coming weeks?
So kindergarten registration closes on February 2nd. And in kindergarten registration form, there was a place for those families who wished their children to be considered for English kindergarten and French immersion. So after February 2nd, we will be reviewing all of those applications, and we will be reaching out to families probably beginning of March to let them know around whether their child will be accepted into the English kindergarten and French immersion program.
That ratio, I think, every school.
So every kindergarten classroom that has 16 or more children will have 2 educators, the educator team of a OCT, an Ontario certified teacher, and an REC, a registered early childhood educator. So classes that are smaller than that number of 16 will have 1 classroom educator as an Ontario certified teacher in there. But of course, they're always still collaborating with the other kindergarten teams in the division. Numbers in the classrooms might vary from school to school. So again, that's a great conversation to have when you go visit your Welcome to Kindergarten program. But the majority of classrooms will have those 2 educators with those complementary skills to help support children learn and grow.
It's going to then like how the school opening area.
I know that as educators in the classroom, just thinking of that, children getting used to and settling into school, the more your child can come, the deeper the relationships they build, the deeper those connections with their peers, their classmates, and their classroom educators. We really do create that flow of the day to suit the needs of all children. So, we have those times where we're up and active, but we also have those times where we're calm and, we're kind of regulating down. So we have a variety of activities, and we really do encourage children to come every day to be a part of the classroom, to build that sense of community and to participate in the learning.
Yes, and it's a big part of the program is about that idea of belonging and contributing. We want children to be there as much as they can, so that because the environment is based on their interests and their play and what they want to do and their relationships that they make with them, with each other, with the educators, and with the materials around them. So as much as they can, we'd love for them to be here.
Yeah.
You mentioned about parents teaching their children how to open lunch containers if possible. Is there anything else aside from that, and also using the washroom, that parents could do to prepare their child for success coming up in September?
That's a great question. I think that almost anything that you expose your child to in terms of playing with other children. So if you go to the library or an early on center or a family center or play at the park or have children over for a play date or play with your cousins, all of those things, all of those interactions are going to help your child learn how to give and take in a relationship, how to handle disappointment, just all those sorts of things that you need as social skills. That being said, children come to us with all sorts of levels of development, and that's what kindergarten is all about. Is it about us meeting the needs of children that come to us? So if you can do those things, that's great. If you can't, that's also okay.
And even just, again, visiting with your child, maybe the school is nearby, you can practice walking to school, seeing the building, getting used to seeing the building if you know that maybe they're going to be a little bit hesitant on those first few days of school. So again, building that excitement, that connection to the building, or if you can go to those Welcome to Kindergarten sessions, right, to meet the educators, take a peek inside and see those materials and things. So just kind of having that positive outlook and that excitement as the school days start to near.
Are all kindergarten classrooms?
Yes, they are. So you will have a number of K1s and a number of K2s, but all of the classes are combined.
What's the deadline for
So currently we have a registration that is open now, and it will close February 2nd. And the reason we have set a timeline is so that we can start to put in place staffing for September, but recognizing that we will have families who will move into the community over the summer. And so we welcome all of our students at any time, but we would really encourage all of our families to register by February 2nd so we can start to do that work with your family, with the Welcome to Kindergarten session, so we can start to get to know your child.
Will support.
So in the kindergarten program, we recognize children with that asset lens, and, you know, being a multi-language learner is such an asset. So bringing that own language into the classroom is really, really encouraged. As well, we have many tools and many resources where we help support children to, you know, build their oral language skills, build their understanding, build those early literacy foundations that we know are going to support them as they grow. So again, just through our daily conversations with children, we do lots of read alouds, lots of labeling through our visual schedules, and as well working with families and caregivers to help children through that play-based learning and practicing those language skills.
Mm-hmm. And please let the educator team and the school know if you have language needs that they can accommodate, right? We talked about the idea of interpretive services and translators that would allow for effective communication with the child's school if another language is your language of comfort and familiarity.
Is there opportunity for parents at the book?
Yes, I think we encourage families to come in. Again, you have to connect with your local school or your child's school to see what opportunities might be available. There's things like school councils, volunteers for field trips. Classrooms might even have parent volunteers come in. Again, it depends on your child's specific school, but when you go to those Welcome to Kindergarten sessions, a lot of times those parent and community organizations are also represented there. So again, when your school connects with you in the spring, we do recommend going out so you can learn about what each community is doing on their own.
Mm-hmm. And even if you don't have a time to make a huge commitment to your child's school and on a regular basis, maybe you have a special skill or a talent that you would like to share, even just to come in and read a book to the children, or teach them how to use a tool or something. They are not going to turn away a parent volunteer. We always want that.
What is the average class size?
So the average class size can range up to 29. And so it really will vary from school to school. As Belinda mentioned, that you may have a class of 16, you may have a class of 26, but you could have a class as high as 29, but recognizing you have 2 educators who are in there working, supporting your students. But again, it does really, truly depend on the community and the school that your child will attend.
Even that varies from year to year, right?
Absolutely.
Where do we bring the early years transition information forms?
So you'll bring those to your school. So for the first time this year, we've been able to do all of our registration online electronically. And once your registration is completed, the school will confirm that with you. And there'll be opportunities for you to come to the school, and you can bring that information to the school at that time. But we are working really hard, and we really do encourage as many people as families as possible to please register by February 2nd so we can start to make those plans to welcome your child to the school.
Much it for questions at the moment.
Well, we really do want to thank you this evening for joining us. We know that some of our families had some challenges with getting connected this evening, but we will make sure that that is sent out to everyone, and it will be posted on our kindergarten website in the next couple of days. And again, we are so excited about having your family and your children join Thames Valley, and really look forward to the long educational journey that we have. And please, please do not hesitate to reach out to your schools to seek support, to ask questions, because they really do want to welcome you. I'm very excited to have you come into their schools. So I'm just going to turn it over to Belinda to bring it to closure.
So to wrap up, We have a video about how caregivers and school staff can really work together to help ease that transition from home or childcare into kindergarten. So we hope you enjoy watching this video about one family's transition from home to school. Thank you.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Tavistock Public School. I'm honored to be here today with Alicia Regescu, a valuable member of our school community and parent of a student that we're going to talk a little bit about today. Thanks for coming today, Alicia.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess the first question is, how did it feel initially registering your child for kindergarten?
So I'd say initially registering my daughter, I was a little nervous and I was a little skeptical starting kindergarten. She has complex medical needs and she has a lot of equipment at home. So transitioning into the school, that did make me a little leery that some things might get swept under the rug or she might not get the help that she needed. So yes, a little nervous.
I can understand that. All right, so you took the step, you registered, now here we are. What did the transition look like for you coming into the kindergarten program?
So the transition itself was pretty seamless. I was contacted by the LST at the school, and she was able to be the liaison between the principal and the administrative staff and all the therapies as well. So I felt like she did a really fantastic job doing that. I had a couple initial phone conversations with the LST, and I was able to highlight all of Annabelle's medical needs and the therapies that we have at home right now. And she was able to be the liaison between the therapist to help set that up in school.
Yeah. And I can add, it was a terrific transition meeting. Lots of folks from different agencies, community nursing, physical therapy, everyone came to the table to talk about the various needs. You know your child best, and you were able to help guide us to make the plans and put the supports in place to really make that transition as seamless as possible.
And I do find that it was really helpful as well that I did have that initial conversation with the LST, because then she was able to talk to the team beforehand and kind of give them a heads up about Annabelle's needs. So then when we came to the meeting, they had lots of helpful questions and tips and things for me to also help our child further on. So I definitely felt really reassured after that initial meeting. So those nerves that I did have in the beginning register, they kind of calmed a little bit, so that was really helpful. I feel like you guys did a really fantastic job just laying out all the hazards in the school, like the playground has cautionary yellow painted around it, so that was really helpful for somebody to come in with that has medically complex needs that has to use specialized equipment.
Yeah. The team was really helpful there between vision services that came in to support. Loads of folks from the board worked really hard to make this happen, and a lot goes on behind the scenes for that first day to be successful. So we've talked a little bit about the supports that Annabelle needs to get through her day in the most independent way possible. Do you want to highlight some of the experiences you had over the summer with teams that were coming into support?
So I felt the most helpful thing for our family was meeting with the school physiotherapist before school started. She was able to come into our house and she looked over the equipment that our daughter was currently using, and then she was able to make some phone calls and find similar recommendations that she could use in the school setting. And some of the equipment is a pretty lengthy time to get, so she was able to orchestrate that before school started so that it was here for the first week of school. So that was really reassuring to know that there was going to be a seamless transition from using the home equipment to then transferring over to the school, where she wasn't going to be left with the time period of not having the equipment she needed.
And that was really important to the school team as well, for things such as standing frames and walkers that are integral to her daily experience. We didn't want her to be without those resources, and I'm really glad that you were able to have that experience during the summer.
Yes.
I know as well, you did a lot of work arranging nursing care to come and visit in the school. And then on the school side of things, the TVDSB Vision Resource Team came out and did a complete building analysis to have a look at what sorts of things needed to be augmented in our school to make sure it was as safe as possible for Annabelle and her vision needs to get around. So I know one of the things I hear a lot from parents is, what exactly does my child do during the day? And when you have a child who's not yet speaking, there's an added layer in there of wonder, because your child can't come home and explain how they have filled their hours at at school during the day. So I think it's really important for the communication between the school team and the family to understand just what your child's day looks like.
Absolutely.
So what has the team communicated with you that Annabelle enjoys during the day?
So I find that her team does a really good job communicating daily with me. So we have a communication book set up, and all of her teachers and helpers will write in the book, and they kind of just break down day to day what her day looks like. So depending on the day, they have different blocks like gym and library. So they'll kind of highlight, you know, in the gym, she'll go into her walker and she'll scoot around. Or if it's library, you know, they'll put the books down in front of her and let her choose. Or they also have choice days where the kids are allowed to just have free choice in the classroom. So they've noticed like certain areas of the classroom she really enjoys, like taking out all the papers and waving them around like confetti. She really enjoys doing that. Any sort of tactile or sensory toys, she kind of gravitates towards that. So I find the school staff is really helpful setting up those little areas in the classroom specifically for Annabelle to kind of help her excel.
Excellent. And I know I've seen a personal favorite. Over by the windows, there are CDs that are hanging that catch and reflect the light. And she really enjoys being in that area, particularly on a sunny day, because the sparkle just sort of lights up her world. And I know when I see Annabelle moving through the hall as well, either using her wheelchair or in her walker, she loves scarves too. So like you said, anything sensory and tactile, the scarves are waving. And I'm going to tell you, the other students really enjoy seeing that colorful show as well. It's terrific to see, and that provides a point of interaction. Maybe not even with her classmates, but with older students in the hallway as well. If she's got her scarves waving, there's a chance for them to connect with her, which is wonderful for every member.
Everybody,
Let's talk a little bit about connections and relationships between Annabelle and her classmates and Annabelle and the other adults in the school, because we know relationships are the foundation for everything that we do here in the building. When those relationships are formed, the kids are feeling safe, they are connected, and they're ready to learn. So what have you observed, seen, heard about in Annabelle's forming a relationship with her classmates and the other kids in the school?
So I've noticed that generally everybody in the school has been very welcoming to Annabelle, to her situation, and just extremely welcoming. Like the younger kids, they'll ask questions, and the older staff here is really helpful, just kind of segueing those questions and giving responses and answers that, you know, make sense to a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old in the class setting. So I find that's really helpful. But just honestly, everyone is super welcoming.
One of the things that the school team has noticed and mentioned as well is a lot of those connections happened really organically. It wasn't that any of the school team needed to introduce Annabelle or show her around. It just happened. The kids gravitate towards Annabelle. I think another really important aspect of Annabelle's joining our school community and our school team is how school-wide activities also meet the needs of all students, regardless of where they are. So, for example, thinking about a recent school performance we just did, Annabelle's on stage with her peers. She had a sensory item that was going along with what the kids were doing on stage. That was really wonderful to see. She had an important role in our Remembrance Day assembly and in other school-wide things that we do here. So I think it's important for us to highlight that as well, that not just within a kindergarten classroom, that she's done a great job joining our larger Tavistock Tigers school community.
And I would just kind of like to highlight, you know, as a parent of a child with special needs, it is really important that she is included in these sort of things. You know, we never want our child to feel excluded because of her differences. And I feel that the school has done a really good job including her and kind of highlighting her differences as a positive thing. So that I find that's really comforting as a parent of a child with special needs. So I found the school has been really accommodating towards that.
It's so hard to pick out a highlight or two to sort of capture this transition to school experience. I know I can selfishly say a highlight for me has been having a chance to get to know Annabelle and work with her, to meet Alicia and work with this incredible family, and also the wider TVDSB school teams with the supports that they provide. But has there been a highlight for you at all, Alicia?
So I think a major highlight for our family has just been the successful transition into kindergarten. You know, at home, she was very scheduled and routine with her day-to-day activities. So it is a little worrisome how that was going to kind of pan out. But honestly, she transitioned into kindergarten very seamlessly. We didn't have any major hiccups or any problems that we encountered. So I felt that was really important for us.
I guess one of the things I hear a lot from families who have a child with complex medical and physical needs is, what about some of the personal care aspects during their school day? It's important to support learning, but it's also important to recognize that some of our children need assistance in every aspect of their day. So we have staff members here at our school that do support Annabelle in using the washroom, staying clean, taking care of herself. And what else would you like to highlight, Alicia, that Annabelle receives care from school staff during the day?
So she does receive the care for nursing, where she has a designated helper that will take her down to the health room and make sure that she is fed properly by the nurse. And so she makes sure that she's on schedule for that, make sure she's in the right place at the right time. And like you said, just those basic physical hygiene, she makes sure that she's kept up to date each day with that.
And I know the classroom staff that work with Annabelle have this wonderful schedule laid out. For example, now it's time to transition into the standing frame for the amount of time that she needs to be in the frame to receive some of that physical support. Or now it's time to be out of the wheelchair for a little while and work and interact with classmates on the carpet. And again, I can't highlight enough the hard work of folks that are in the building, in the classroom, helping Annabelle daily with everything she needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like they've done an excellent job at that. I know the physiotherapists and occupational therapists have kind of given the classroom a guideline of when she should be in her equipment and how long she should be in it. And I feel like the classroom staff has done an excellent job making sure that they've stuck to those guidelines and that she is getting the exposure to the equipment daily.
Excellent. I can't speak any more highly of the hard work that the team has done to make this transition successful, and the hard work that the family has put in to work with us, to give us advice, to give us information. We couldn't have done. We are doing this for you, and we couldn't have done it without you and what your family has given us.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.